It is a project monitoring visit to the Zambia Police Service by the LC Initiative Fund Project Manager, Ms. Deborah Warren-Smith. The Director for UNAU Peace Support Operations, Mr. Chomba Changopa, Deputy Commissioner of Police, now gives an overview of this visit.
The visit by the LC Initiative Fund Manager for LC Initiative project for Uniformed Women Peace Support Operations. This visit is going to be conducted by Miss Deborah Warren-Smith, who is coming from the United States of America. She happens to sit on the LC Initiative Fund and of course heading the fund project itself. So basically our visit to this country, Zambia, particularly the Zambia Police Service, is to come and look at the project, have a detailed review of the project. Of course, you will have to look at the risks of the project, what so far has been done, then lessons that also can be learned from conducting this project with the Zambia Police. She'll also take home best practices that we are applying to ensure that we realize the objectives of the project as compared to where she has been in other countries. And within the process of the project, we'll take a few trips whereby we shall be required to travel to Sondera, where we have identified a piece of land where the accommodation for female officers will be built, and also a daycare center. It is just imperative that the funders of the project come at a certain point so that they see, is the money being put to good use? What projects are these people trying to embark on? So basically that is what she's doing.
I'm also getting a strong sense of a really genuine desire by leadership and middle management and an understanding of the importance of the work that they are doing. So it's not just about numbers, but it's also about understanding why we need to have women taking a seat at the table, whether they are in leadership roles, decision-making roles, planning operations, and then at the technical level. And we certainly see in peacekeeping operations the importance of why we have women working as patrol commanders or as individual police officers. We've heard of that importance not only for women but also for men, and how we have the reason to have women in peacekeeping operations. Some of the reasons are, and I've heard those loud and clear from my focus group meetings and the other meetings during this time, is that women on the ground in peacekeeping missions can interact with women in the local population where the peacekeeping operation is operating. They can gather information from women in relation to force protection. Sometimes there are cultural reasons why women cannot talk to men, so having women on the ground to take reports about conflict-related sexual violence or gender-based violence, the women police officers can then follow those up.
It was during this same visit that the implementing partners of the Zambia Police Service, the United Nations Development Programme UNDP, made the donation of computers to the institution.
On behalf of the Inspector General of Police, it is my rare privilege and honor to receive donated equipment from the LC Initiative Fund for Uniformed Women in Peace Operations. This could not have come at a better time than this one, when our officers in all parts of the country need to receive information in record time. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Zambia Police Service and indeed on my own behalf, allow me to express our gratitude to the LC Initiative Fund for Women in Peace Support Operations for the donation of 17 laptops and other office accessories aimed at easing communication between police service headquarters and all divisions and units. In this particular regard, I want to assure you that the tools will be put to good use in order to realize the desired goal.
Guest of honor, therefore, to applaud the commitment of the Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security through the Zambia Police Service when it comes to empowering the institution through partnering with UNDP and the LC Initiative Fund, especially in procuring the ICT equipment that we'll be handing over today, as well as the training of 17 focal point persons from 10 divisions and 7 units, to mention just but a few of the many achievements aimed at addressing some of the impediments to women participation in peace operations.
For us also as UNDP, this partnership that is there between the Health Initiative Fund and the Zambia Police is also a demonstration of the desire that the UN has and the push at the global level to attain to the Sustainable Development Goals. In this regard, we know that we are now in 2024 and we are very close to 2030, where we had set a target as an international community to attain the Sustainable Development Goals, so only remaining 6 years before that. The visit has been very productive. We're very happy, first of all, that the host implementing partner, the Zambia Police, really provided an opportunity to showcase the progress that has been made in terms of the interventions that have been supported by the project. And through this visit, we've been able to discuss some of those barriers. We have looked at the progress that has been made. We've also looked at areas where improvements that have been made, but the visitors really helped to showcase and also provide the spotlight on this particular project. So from our perspective as UNDP, this visit has been very productive, and we wish to take this opportunity to thank the Health Initiative Fund for their support and the many donors that are contributing to the fund, but also the Zambia Police also for the strong collaboration and support during this visit.
Focal points and recipients of the donated computers had an opportunity to interact with Ms.
How has
Smith.
that training impacted how you talk about women's participation in peacekeeping?
What we were taught at that side was to actually to make a woman feel like they are the key element actually in the peacekeeping mission, because they need to understand that in most cases conflicts are started by men, and the victim is a woman. So in the peacekeeping actual process, we need more women to participate, because they are the people on the ground, because they are dealing with the vulnerable. We also looked at the cultural issues to say actually in most of these conflict areas that actually we are sending our officers, the cultural issue actually does not require a man to interact with the victim in general, who is a woman. So in this case, we need to have a good number of women actually in forefront, actually in peacekeeping areas.
You've been selected, so the organisation has faith in you and see potential in you. So still go back and use those skills in your everyday job. Bring in women who have not had those skills and mentor them in it. Set aside half an hour a week or an hour a week to have mentorship sessions with women and men in your station or substation, and share those skills so you're almost becoming a trainer or a TOT.
During that time, it was very difficult for IPOs to reach the vulnerable because of certain information at that time it was not there as compared to now. Because if you look at Somali today, IPOs are able to reach the vulnerable Meaning, in the outskirts, in the hospitals, maybe those who are injured, the IPOs, they are reaching those people. At the same time, when it comes to girl child, previously there was no protection. Today we are seeing women on the ground trying to protect a girl child, especially in Somalia. The VSU, at that time it wasn't there, but this time around, women are going on the ground trying to sensitize women, trying to engage them in sports. It wasn't there at that time, but we are seeing that in Somalia today.
Away from the comfort of the offices with air cons, it was time now for the entourage to step out and embark on a journey to the Geoffrey Mukoma Paramilitary Training School, also known as Sondela, where the entourage went to appreciate the land that has been earmarked for the construction of the female dormitories together with a daycare.
We are standing, this is where the hostels will sit. The 130 I was talking about, and this is the 80. So it entered from this point. Women were involved in this. So they can't say, no, why we are, no, they are there. They are part of the design process. So this is what I can say.
What we are not seeing, we did not maybe include was the hedging, what will come just to separate these dormitories. I think there are female dormitories being built this side, but this is what generally the layout that was explaining.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the design of the actual accommodation and who was involved in the design?
The drawings were sent to us, we did the reviews, we reviewed the drawings, we did the bills of quantities, we sent the feedback to them, we agreed, and then they sent back all the documents back to us.
We discovered that they had not indicated the changing rooms for the babies. Yes, so we advised that they have to consider that, and then they shouldn't mix the younger babies with those who are bigger ones, the toddlers.
Maybe Officer Luhana can also explain that we learned when we were coming here that they have started also female dormitories. So this work is also being complemented by the work that's being done here. So it would be very interesting also to understand how the layout would be, because I am aware also that we are doing a female barrack here. So maybe it would be good if Officer Luhana could also explain to us in terms of how these facilities, together with the ones we've seen, I've seen they've all done already.
For sure, we are doing something. As you can see, there's construction of kitchen and dining, including the female barracks. So this one is complementary, much as it is pilot. But if they extend their hand further, well, we will gladly receive. But for now, we are also doing something. Construction is underway.
For some time, we have not been training women in office. Okay, only as we have seen immigration. For the police, for some time, because there were no facilities. It was not conducive for a lady to come here and live in such conditions. So those basically, I think, training our own recruits, but we are talking about UN.
So for the other officers who don't have babies, they can join us by the training. And it has always been only that we need to ensure that we upgrade the facilities that we have.
This is a pilot project, as we've heard, and it's going to go a long way to really supporting the Zambia Police Service to train, to bring mothers here with their children to have adequate daycare facilities so they can go and soak up all of the training they're receiving. So I would also like to acknowledge the government of Zambia for their support in the other projects we see being constructed here today, but also for the support from Zambian leadership, Zambia Police Service leadership, in making this happen.
The Zambia Police Service is one of the institutions that has made strides in ensuring that gender mainstreaming are a priority in its organization.
For the first time again, Zambia Police is leading in terms of creating an enabling environment, a workplace environment where women can fully participate. So we're in Sondela to see one of the constructions of women barracks and women daycare, where women who are breastfeeding, women who are nursing, could actually go and participate in peacekeeping, which has never happened in the history of this republic or Zambia Police. So from the gender point of view, we're seeing these strides that have been made towards gender mainstreaming. Mind you, gender mainstreaming really means that we need to look at the historical backgrounds that impedes most of these initiatives. So beyond this also is the issue of engaging men to change the mindset. So we have the men's network that supports these ideas. As you can see that men are running behind women so that we can all be at the same place, the same level, same understanding, same attitude and same focus in ensuring that both men and women are being held. So the coming of our fund manager from the LC initiative really speaks volume of how the country has moved miles in terms of mainstreaming gender. For record's sake, Zambia Police is one of the institutions that is setting a pace in terms of mainstreaming gender. For the first time, we have the gender workplace policy that has been launched. We are developing the anti-gender and sexual harassment policy. We are developing the checklist. We are developing the implementation plan. We are also developing the monitoring framework, so that all these things that we're talking about, they can actually speak to one thing: mainstreaming gender in the security organ.
From the site visit and the scorching sun in Sondela, Miss Deborah Warren-Smith had a date with the senior female police officers at Police Service Headquarters, led by the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Miss Alita Mbawe.
To create a cadre of women who are ready to work in various sectors. Sometimes we have challenges of some women who, when for example, they are deployed to certain jobs, they want to cry femininity or whatever. No, I can't do this because I'm a woman, or suddenly my child this and that and so on. And we complain in the research that was being done that stations don't want many women. They don't want many women because we ourselves put ourselves in a space where we should be rejected. Because we want to choose where to work when it suits us. And when it doesn't suit us, we want to be women, we want to be exempted. So we're trying to get the women to understand that what a man can do, a woman can also do. So we need to change the way we think and the way we do things.
Great expectations that they will be very, very beneficial to then get the word out to women who are not in the capital city but are out in the regions, to really understand and know more information about deployment opportunities and how to apply to deploy, especially to UN peace operations but also to peace support operations.
When all is said and done, a roundtable discussion is inevitable to raise concerns, observations, and recommendations.
Efforts that have already been done around communicating the gender policy and also what the Zambia Police has committed to with regard to the affirmative actions that are set in the current gender workplace policy. Thank you.
it's comforting that even as we develop the Gantt chart for the remaining activities, as a technical committee, we will have dates well laid out so that we can properly communicate a realistic time frame for the no-cost extension. So it's just a question of probably putting timelines to that. Thank you, Zambia Police, and thanks, Deb, for coming again.
This isn't always the experience that I have as a fund manager. So I want to really thank you for your openness in discussing, talking about, you know, how you are rolling out the gender policy, some of the project delays, and my understanding is this is built on the trust that has been built up between your partnership with UNDP, and I think that's really important to highlight. So I feel the trust walking into this, into the Zambia Police Service and engaging with you, and for me that is something that I do not take lightly.
I was equally impressed with the progress that has been made, the commitment from each one of us, and it's like, you know, we are speaking with one voice, and that's how it should be. The command is also well ahead and very supportive, and this I must make mention that it will be very good for me even as we get closer to the 25 ministerial meeting which is taking place in Germany, where I'll be part of the team. So these are the strong issues that I will go and clean up to indicate how prepared the Zambia Police Service is in terms of participation in United Nations. And of course, with your able support and your indulgence in this part of the police command, I believe this is going to go a long way. And my own appeal is that we should not just end here, we should continue to collaborate, just a few blocks away from my office. So I'll be knocking on you on any other issues related to Zambia Police, or indeed especially the peacekeeping operations. Let's continue to interact so that we can finish whatever we had started.
And we know that the French response takes a quite long period of time. Why can't we use part of the resources of training women that maybe that may not be taken up? We direct them to learn about French, but we don't demotivate them. Or open up, maybe you can find some funds to look at how we can train women to learn about French, so that we increase the areas of where our women can go and be part of this. And not just a matter of teaching them, but also once they are done, they need to undergo training again on how to answer this. The same way we train the officers that are learning English. Another training should be formulated for officers that have come from training. They need to go through the process of retraining so that when they are going to answer those questions in French, communicate, then you've created a base. I foresee a situation whereby you training and all the effort that you have created for communication is on there. They will not be filled. It will remain high. Why can't you use the same training facility to train officers in French? Because this doesn't come continuously. So during that period, we can look for funds, we train officers at that institution. That facility should not remain idle. Let it have all the activity that women will want to have. Let them be active, leadership programs, all those. Let it be used not only for your activities. Then you are going to make positive strides to ensure that women are empowered. But if you are just going to look at it from SAT only, then that facility will not be utilized. Because look at the SAT, the way it has been presented to us. Maybe 2 years, that's when you're going to have women, or maybe twice in a year, then the facility will be high. How are we going to try the facility that a lot of money will have been spent on? Those are some of the things we would want you to take up.
Military advisor to the Zambia's permanent mission at the United Nations in New York, Brigadier General Oliver Msonda, was part of this project monitoring visit to Zambia.
First and foremost, I would like to thank Deborah and her team for having found time to come and look at how our police officers are getting trained in preparing them to get into the United Nations peacekeeping operations, more especially the women. Under my jurisdiction, I think I look at deployment of military and police service personnel into the mission areas. And my coming here was to come and actually witness the support that the LC initiative is actually giving to the Zambia police. It is a cause, it is a call by United Nations that women must be encouraged, numbers must be increased for women to participate in United Nations. And this initiative actually is in line with the United Nations cause. And for me, I think this is a very big step forward, so that we can have a lot more of our women being exposed to the United Nations. She went through a lot of presentations, of course, from Police Command. And of course, we took her down to Sondela to see the infrastructure that is being constructed in preparations for the women training. Furthermore, I would like to say that as I go back to New York, I'll go and mention to the Police Command that Zambia is actually making a lot of strides in preparing itself for the deployment of the FPU. We had an AFV advisory assessment visit last year, where we showcased our equipment and our manpower. Now, with this kind of development that has come in, I believe it is going to be very gratifying for the United Nations, to see that Zambia is really committed to preparing itself for the deployment of women police officers in the missions.
Thank you very much. So my impressions from our visit are that there is very, very strong commitment from the Zambian government to gender equality, the empowerment of women, and gender mainstreaming. That commitment was certainly seen when I went to the Sondela training camp. This is where the ELSI Fund is supporting the construction of women's accommodation and daycare facility there. So not only were we able to see the ground where the facility will be constructed, but directly next door there is already work ongoing to construct women's dormitories at the Sondela camp. So to see the strong commitment from the Zambian government and also the Zambian Police Service to empowering women and ensuring that women have a full, equal and meaningful participation in the Zambian Police Service is really, really pleasing to see. My other impressions, especially from the ELSI Initiative Fund supported project, is that a number of the activities are progressing well. We're really happy to see some of the recommendations from the barrier assessment report now being implemented throughout the development of a gender equality policy within the Zambian Police, and then also preparation to also develop a anti-sexual harassment and exploitation and abuse policy by the Zambian Police Service. My other impressions are that having met with the Inspector General and also the Deputy Inspector General, both operations and administration, is that there is very strong top-down leadership from the Zambian Police Service. I was also very happy to meet some of the women who have received or are beneficiaries of the training to become a focal point for the African Union and United Nations Peace Support Office, and to hear of their experiences firsthand, and then how they have been able to implement the knowledge or share the knowledge that they gained through that training with women who want to deploy as a individual police officer to either UN or AU peacekeeping or peace support operations. My words to the women police officers here in Zambia are: make your women's network strong, make it work for you, make it work for all of the women in the Zambian Police Service. Reach out to those that are coming up through the ranks, to the junior women who have just joined the Zambia Police Service recently, to those new recruits. Reach out to them, mentor them, find ways that you can help them to find career opportunities within the Zambia Police Service. Encourage them to self-develop, look for opportunities, whether it's in improving your driving skills, improving your written report writing skills. Find ways to really develop yourself. Be proactive, look for opportunities. Reach out to senior men and women within the organisation who you think could support you in mentoring you throughout your whole career. My other guidance would be to never stop dreaming. Set yourself goals in life as well as within the Zambia Police Service, and keep aspiring to achieve those goals. In terms of peace operations, if you want to deploy to a peacekeeping operation, let your command know that that is what you want to do, and take those steps to find the skills or understand the skills and knowledge that you need, and then take those steps to improve those early in your career. If your senior commanders can see that you are proactive, you have set yourself some career goals, perhaps you have a career plan, ask them to mentor and support you in that. And then when you get to those high levels, do exactly the same with those junior women who are coming up behind you. Work together as one.